Hi friends, I'm Kat. Welcome to my channel and today's video. So this is my December clean slate reading vlog where I do this every month, usually if I have my shit together, where for the last week of a month I focus on basically reading all of my current reads and hitting any of my reading goals that I haven't managed for that month, and basically just trying to go into the new month with a bit of a clean slate and not carrying over a bunch of current reads. So this one's going to be a little bit different too because it is the last month of the year. So we're going to try to hit if there's any reading goals that I haven't hit, we'll see if we can try to work on them this month, because I know my Goodreads reading goal was 350 for this year and I think I'm at 320, which there is no way in hell I will be able to read 30 books in a week. But let's see how much we can read and how close we can get to that. Also, I was at one point trying to read down my physical TBR to 0. Still have 50-ish books on it. Maybe I can reduce that a little. And there were two series that I really wanted to try and read by the end of the year, which were The Expanse and basically Robin Hobb's World, because I'm still on the second series in that, but I'm nowhere near as done. But I have 2 books left in The Expanse, so maybe there's a slight possibility I could actually finish that off. But otherwise, let's take a look at some of my current reads. Also, today's Christmas. We're not doing anything. My husband and I are both 30 somethings with no kids and no family close by, so we don't really do anything for Christmas. But first off, I have Restless Slumber by KJ Sutton. This is book 2 in her Fortuna Sworn series, which I'm really enjoying, and I'm about a quarter of the way in. Started in a vlog a few weeks ago and never really made the chance to, or never really made time to finish it. Similarly, Winter in New York. I'm not far in at all. I think I'm under 50 pages in, but started it in another reading vlog, didn't finish it. And this is one that I can 100% guarantee if I don't read it this winter, it's gonna just sit on my TBR for another one. I'm not gonna pick up this in the summer. So I do want to get this done and just I'm in the middle of reading it. I also, this is an embarrassing one. And also, this is an embarrassing one. I started reading this, I would like to say over 6 months ago. It's The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. And I'm a quarter of the way in. Couldn't get into it, but I would really like to finish it. Another one I'm currently reading. So those are 3 that I'm definitely prioritizing. And then I have so many checked out on Libby, which first off, I want to read The Ember and the Ashes. I'm halfway through the first book and I have all the other ones checked out, so I would like to get to that. Love and Other Conspiracies, my loan is returning in 2 days. Moonbound by Robert and Sloan. Again, another one, my loan's expiring. So many others I have checked out. A lot of them, the loan is coming back due in the next week or so. So I'd like to try to get rid of some of those. Also, any other physical library books I have. Why not clear out that stash and bring them back before the year is over. So welcome to the video. We are gonna go eat dinner now and we'll see if I get to anything tonight. All right, so we have made some good progress this morning, which I am very happy to say. Last night we watched 2 movies. This has kind of been our Christmas thing, and honestly it's probably going to be for the next week. We just watched a lot of movies and we decided this is movie marathon time. But we watched first I Am Legend, which first time I ever saw it. Didn't realize, honestly, I don't know what I thought this movie was, but it was not that. Didn't realize there were zombie-like creatures in it, which if you know me, zombies are that no-go zone for me. They are the one thing I cannot handle. I don't watch scary movies or like really thrilling movies often because I don't like be scared like that, but zombies or zombie-like creatures, which is kind of what happened in this, they're like my ultimate no-go thing, and my husband did not warn me. So I thought the movie was decent. It just like, I was a little on edge the whole time. And then we watched Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence, which I thought was pretty good too. I think it's one that like I've never really heard a lot of great things about. It's about a young Russian ballerina who gets injured and then becomes trained to be a sparrow, which is this type of like seductive spy who basically like seduces men to get their secrets, and we're following her on a mission. I thought it was pretty enjoyable too. So I don't really know why that one hasn't had crazy amount of praise. But anyways, that was our movie like night last night. Not sure yet what we'll do tonight, but I have made good progress on my reading. So first off, I finished An Ember in the Ashes, which I'm giving 4 stars. This is a reread for me, by the way. I read the first 2 back in the day and decided to reread it and actually finish the series, and I'm enjoying it. So it was 5-star back in the day, and this time around I'd say only 4-star. My tastes have definitely changed a little bit in reading, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. We're following a spy within this rebellion who's trying to take down the ruling emperor, and somebody who's basically a soldier within this military school, and she, as part of being a spy, she's sent as a slave to the commander of the school, who happens to be that soldier's mother. And we're following basically like her as she's trying to find information because her brother's been captured, and she's been told by this rebellion that if she gets some information, they will save her brother's life. And also the soldier, as he's kind of going through these trials to see who's going to become the next emperor, there's 4 people who are competing. He's one of them, and he's also very much questioning everything he believes because he does not necessarily agree with anything the empire has done, and he really doesn't agree with like the way they treat the serving classes and the slaves and everything. So he is very much considering like trying to find a way to escape and deflect. So enjoyed it a lot, 4 stars. And yeah, I'm gonna like pretty quickly go into the second one because I do have it downloaded too. And next I got 50% into Love and Other Conspiracies, which I am loving this one. This is like a quirky romance that I definitely needed in my life. So we're following basically a producer of, I'm gonna say like a BuzzFeed-esque video service where they do web series, and she recently broke up with her boyfriend, who was like one of the on-screen stars, and he's been bad-mouthing her crazy ever since. So she's being given kind of one last chance of, if you can bring like a hit show to us, you can like keep your job here, otherwise we're probably gonna have to let you go. So she randomly decides, like after basically watching you know those late night shows of like conspiracy theories, she finds a guy who was a guest on one of them, and he's like this really, really handsome guy who you would not think would be this into conspiracy theories, but she finds out that he has this like crazy popular podcast, and gets in contact with him and like suggests like, let's do a web series together where we're talking about conspiracy theories and investigating them. So they team up together and start a show. It kind of quickly comes that like he's not good at sitting down and talking to a camera. He's good on like, microphone. on the podcast he's good, but he doesn't have that like on-screen vibe. And through like just basically practice filming and stuff, very quickly becomes clear that he and our main character have a fantastic chemistry. So she ends up being brought in as a co-host with him, and they start like just discussing these conspiracy theories and everything, and start to have a hit show. That's kind of where it's going, is they're just like investigating crazy things, and I love it. I love it. I love this vibe. This is like giving me just like Monster Hunter, Mythbuster kind of like thing. I know that Mythbusters isn't about this, but like just that kind of thing, and like classic like conspiracy theory show. I love it. I have to say I'm like very, very much enjoying this. I love the dynamic between the characters, and just this is fantastic. So basically today we're gonna keep reading that. It is 1:40 right now, so plans for today: keep reading. I'm gonna work out. That's not a question. I'm gonna work out. Probably go for a run. Maybe watch a movie. I don't know. Like not too much. We are going away tomorrow for one night, so there's a really good chance I will not be updating tomorrow or Saturday. I don't know how much reading I'll do. We're just gonna spend one night with family, and don't really know if I can guarantee I won't be able to update on anything, but I don't know how much reading I'll get done. Just kind of depends like how much chill time we have, I guess. So we're gonna try to read as much as we can today to kind of make up for that. Well, today's plans unfortunately kind of completely veered off track. So it's Friday now, and today I was supposed to be going with my husband to spend like 2 days with his family, kind of like a little Christmas celebration, because I guess because it's the only time that we really see everybody all together. His family is like across the province, and it's usually one of the few times like everyone actually gets together. But our sweet Hank, who is our almost 9-year-old German Shepherd, and unfortunately, like, if you know, that's definitely an elderly dog territory, he somehow really hurt himself yesterday. It was either, we think, he fell on the steps in the snow, jumped off the couch weirdly, or was having like a bit too much zoomies and hurt himself that way. But he like really hurt his leg, and he really can't walk right now, unfortunately, and we didn't feel very comfortable leaving him in the kennel with that. Also, like, this isn't the first time he's done that, and we really have to be careful, because if you know, like, German Shepherds especially, they have really bad issues with their hips as they get older, and it does tend to be like a very big problem. So we've been giving him medication and supplements that have like really mitigated that and made it a lot better. But he unfortunately doesn't seem to understand like that he's older now and can't really go at the same speed that he used to. So it's really like not uncommon for him to hurt himself this way. Like earlier this year, he broke a few of his toes on one of his paws because he had the zoomies and it was raining out and he slipped on our deck. So it just really, like, it's rough. It's really sad to see. And I wanted my husband to still be able to go and see his family. And like, of course, I'm sad to not see them too, because like, especially the children, they have like several young nephews who I would love to see. But yeah, I was just way too worried to leave our dog alone. And then today, it's I think 4 p.m. now. He basically has not left the couch. Like I had to lure him off with treats to go outside to pee, and that was like a struggle. And he's very much like, he does not want to move, and I think it's just because every time he does, it like really hurts him. So we're having a rough day, and I am feeling like very sad about it too. But because I've just been like a couch potato, I do have some reading updates, I guess, which yay for that. So I finished the Love and Other Conspiracies. Sorry, that took me a moment to think about it. Last time I checked, I think I was 50% in, and I did manage to finish that one fairly quickly because it's a relatively short romance. So I thought this was very fun. We are following like the producer of video shows, web shows. Basically, I'm thinking BuzzFeed-esque or Try Guys-esque type of studio where a lot of like online series are produced. And she had previously been working with her ex, who was the star of one of these, but he decided he didn't want to work with her, and she broke up with him because of that. And since then, he has like badmouthed her like crazy through the network. And she's kind of at this point of like, if she doesn't have a new hit show, she will be fired, because not that they would necessarily want to let her go, but because there's no work for her. And she's really worried at this point too that her reputation has taken like a really big hit because of it. So she stumbles across this guy who does a conspiracy theory podcast, and they end up teaming up to make this web show together, and through the course of it, fall for each other. She ends up becoming a co-host because he's like very awkward on the camera, and just that dynamic of two people, like one who's a hardcore believer and knows all this thing, and somebody who's a skeptic. I think that's actually like a super fun dynamic and something that I personally would be very into. So they end up producing this like really hit show online. And yeah, I loved it. I loved the dynamic. I love this idea of just like conspiracy theorist hunters. Like they went to Area 51, they were hunting Bigfoot, they were doing all these like crazy little adventures, which were super fun. And I really liked the main character and the male love interest, because he just, you know, like nerdy perfect man. He was everything, and I really liked their dynamic together. So I'm giving that one 4 stars. And then honestly, this was not on any of my TBRs, it was not on any of my plans, but I randomly decided to pick up Madness of the Horde King, which is the Horde Kings of Dakar book 3. This is an alien romance that I love, and I am not the type of person who would ever expect to be coming to you and saying that I love alien romance, but this is one of those few series that I'm obsessed with. There's a handful that I really love, and this is one of them. And it's very much because I say this every time, but it gives Dothraki fanfiction vibe, and I can't not love that. So it's like we're on this planet, humans have settled there after like a huge, I think it's intergalactic war that's basically destroyed all their colonies, and now they are flung out to the far reaches of space trying to find places to settle. And there's some humans who have settled on this land, but the planet itself is ruled by these 6 horde kings. So I very much think like a cow and they're like from the Dothraki and all of their followers. So it's very much they're like hordes that move throughout the land, patrolling, keeping up their laws, and also killing off any like dangerous creatures. And at this point, humans do not have a good status on this planet. They are very much like completely lesser than. They don't have enough food and they are not allowed to hunt. So a lot of them get punished because of that. And this is the third book. We're following a human who is a slave to this one group of, I'm not sure if they're humans or some other creatures, but she's a slave to them. And she's sent to the king, the Horde kings, with a message that this one guy wants to bargain with them to get, I think it's like a heartstone. But if not, he will wage war on them. And now she's traveling with one of the kings. He is known as the Mad King, just because I think he sees things and also has like an uncontrollable rage and likes to kill because of that. So she's traveling with him to find this heartstone and they are starting a relationship. I just really like the vibes of these books, and they're always ones that I get like super invested in. So I think that's going to be kind of the plan for tonight, is to finish reading that. I'm going to try to read a few things for other videos as well. Now that I have like these extra 2 days, I figure I might as well just try to get ahead of as many things as possible. So I'm going to try to get ahead of some of the reading that I had planned for other videos and work on that. Maybe a bit of editing and just some other filming, because might as well just try to make my life a little bit easier for next week. So that is the plan for this evening. I'll check in later. We made some great progress in reading today. Okay, so we made some great progress in reading today. Just, this is a mess if you see it. For another video, I'm doing like a big book on haul and reorganization, and you can see a little spoiler of all the books right there that are getting rid of. Also, my dog is very ready for bed, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. But I kept reading Madness of the Horde King, and I am 67% into it, so 2/3. As like all the other books in this series, I'm enjoying it. I have zero complaints and really just having a great time with it. Like, I like these alien romances, not ashamed of it, and I think that they are fantastic. And then I got 31% into A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir, and that is book 2 in the Ember and the Ashes series. And I think I've only read the first 2. I think that the second one dragged for me, and then it kind of like I didn't want to go forward after that. So I'm a little worried that that might happen again, but also we will see. We'll see how it goes. We're just like really following the big events that happened in the first book and the like blowout from all of that. Also, we have a few new perspectives in this one, or I think just one maybe, but it adds a little bit more to the story. And then I did 50 pages of Restless Slumber by KJ Sutton. This is the second Fortuna Sworn book, and really like this world. It's like a fae romance. Our main character is a nightmare, which basically just means she's able to access people's darkest dreams and turn it against them. By darkest dreams, I do mean like darkest fears, and turn it all against them. Really enjoy this one. It's a little bit slower for me than the first book, but I think that is kind of like the first book had a very clear setup of there's these trials that our main character is going through, and now this one's just kind of like, I guess, broadening the world and going into probably like the deeper plot that's going to take place for the rest of the books. So that does make sense that usually the second book tends to be a little bit slower just because of that. And I think like similarly to the second Ember and the Ashes book, the second book is a little bit slower just because you are introduced to so many more things in the world. So that has been my progress for today. Watched a lot of YouTube, was lazy, but we read some, so that's nice. I guess I'm going to bed now. I guess Hank is demanding that we go to bed, so I'll probably read for a bit because it's still fairly early, so I'll probably read for a little bit before I fall asleep. But another day, successful day of reading, I guess. I also didn't really end up getting like nearly as much done as I was hoping to today, because I kind of really wanted to film some videos and get ahead of a few things, like take advantage of having an extra day and like do so many more things. Sorry, I just had a coughing attack. But I'm really trying to remind myself that even if I don't have days that are like productive and doing all these things, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's like really, really good to have those days where you just relax and recharge. So I'm trying to tell myself that that's what today was. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm like crying because I was coughing so hard, but I need to stop talking. Hi, so it's Monday now? Yeah, so I haven't updated in 2 days because I was lazy. You might hear my dryer in the background, and I'm sorry about that, but kind of nothing to be done unless I wanted to wait, which I did not want to wait to update. But yeah, this weekend I really kind of fell off on everything. I kind of took these like extra days that I ended up having in my schedule and rested, which weirdly, crazily, I think I actually really needed. That's something that I'm really, really not good about, is just like taking time for myself and really not doing anything. And I struggle so hard with that. So like I still did some things. I reorganized my bookcase. I did read a bit. My husband and I have been hanging out. We started a puzzle, like some things I did, like I worked out, like I did quite a bit, but ultimately it wasn't like anything that insane, which feels really, really good. And yeah, I got some reading done, some for other videos, but for this one, I finished Restless Slumber by KJ Sutton. My copy is in the other room and I don't feel like getting up. I'm giving this one a 4-star because I really enjoyed the story, though I do find that our main character, Fortuna, was driving me crazy in this book. Like I felt like she was very immature in a lot of ways, and just her, every time she was talking, she was coming back with some like witty comeback that just felt out of place and kind of weird and awkward. So I wasn't necessarily enjoying that, but I did enjoy the plot, and I think that this was like a very action-packed book and had some like really, really cool things happening in it. So I enjoyed that. And then I finished A Torch Against the Night, which I think I'll give 4 stars also, but similar vein of I didn't like it as much as the first book, where I think this one, I did think it started to lose my interest a little bit, because a lot of this story is kind of like our two main characters traveling. So in the first book, there's in this world where we're following, there's the marshals and the scholars are basically a slave class to the marshals. And we're following a member of the scholars who poses as a slave to go work in this like big school and spy on the commander of this school. And we're following her son, who wants to get away from everything to do with this community because he was raised in the desert by these tribes, and he has never fully embraced what the Empire is doing. But he's also like their prize student, their #1 student at this like military martial training thing. But he's always dreamed of getting away. So they end up kind of like having an attraction, I guess, but also by the end of the first book decide to start working together because they both go on the run from the military and team up to like accomplish this goal that they're gonna do. So I thought this one was all right. It just, yeah, a lot of it was them traveling, they're on the run. There's like all of these, just them running from the marshals, like that kind of stuff, which was fine. I don't know. It didn't really grip me in the same way. So 3.5 for that one. We can like round it up to a 4, I guess, to kind of like keep that in the same line, but a little bit less good. And I also started My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine, which is the sequel to My Roommate is a Vampire, which is I can't remember if I read it earlier this year, but it's a vampire romance that I really, really enjoyed. And I'm halfway through that one right now, but we're following an accountant who her cousin's wedding's coming up and her family's been pressuring her for so long to date someone. And she happens to run into this man like a few times and basically propositions him to like, hey, do you want to be my fake boyfriend? Turns out he's a vampire and they've been going on these dates. They've been like going to these family events and they're starting to fall for each other. And she's now soon gonna realize he's a vampire, I guess, because he keeps making these jokes of like, oh yeah, I'm a vampire. Like he's like, yeah, I drink blood. And she thinks that he's like, because in the same conversation he'd made this comment about how he's like, oh, I'm a prankster. She's like, oh, hilarious joke. Okay. And just kind of goes along with it, not realizing that he's like fully admitting to what he is. But I'm enjoying it so far. I think I actually like it a bit more than My Roommate was a Vampire because the main character in that one felt he was like I think man from like the 1800s who had been completely like asleep for a couple hundred years and then came to modern day and was trying to adjust. And in this one we have a main character who's somewhat adjusted but not 100% in on the like modern world, and I'm enjoying that a little bit more. He's a little bit less clueless, but like it's a little more entertaining. So I'm gonna finish that one tonight. It is, because it's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday, which is also New Year's Eve, so I do ideally want to finish off this vlog tomorrow night, and I'd like to see how much I can realistically get read before then, which I think definitely I can do this one. Maybe one other book, which I haven't decided which it'll be. Like I need to decide what I want my last book of the year to be. But yeah, I'm definitely having a good time with this. I can't remember, did I tell you that I finished Madness of the Horde Gang? I can't remember if I talked about that, but I finished that one too and gave it 4 stars. So it's good rating wise. I don't remember if I talked about that one. I feel like I didn't. But yeah, I've read quite a few books already. So we're gonna finish this one off probably tonight, hopefully. And maybe tomorrow 1 or 2 books. Let's see what we can do. Hi, happy New Year's Eve. So it's 4:30 right now. I am done work for the day finally. And now we're just kind of doing whatever, I guess. Like got everything I needed to out of the way for today. So like went for my run, went for my workout, showered, got ready. Like I've done everything that I really wanted to today. I have some pizza dough in our bread maker right now. So we're going to make like little personalized pizzas later. And otherwise, literally zero plans for tonight. Neither of us really care about New Year's Eve either. Like we're not super big holiday people, I guess. And we aren't drinkers anymore. Like I honestly can't remember the last time I really enjoyed drinking, so we tend to just prefer to stay at home and kind of just do whatever. I think we're gonna watch some movies, and honestly I kind of just want to color. You might have seen, so we finished like this puzzle that we've been working on for a few days now, and that was kind of like the only thing that we've really had going on. And yeah, tonight's just gonna be crazy chill, which sounds fantastic. And there is like a very small likelihood either of us will make it to midnight. Totally fine. So I did finish a book last night, and I don't know why I didn't update it yesterday, but I finished My Vampire Plus One, which I really thought was fun. It had so many fun like fake dating things going on with it, because we're following a young woman who not hires, but just was bringing this man that she met along with her to all of these family functions to get her family off her back about like when she's gonna find someone. And turns out he's a vampire. The only thing I think honestly, like I wish it had gone a little bit more into the vampire aspect. Like I don't know what would have made it better, but I think I would have liked to know just like, I don't know, a bit more of these vampire in and outs of his his life, I guess. And weirdly, this is another, like, I always complain when romance books are too long, but I think this is one that I think could have used like another 50 pages or so just for a little bit more relationship development between the two main characters, because I don't think there was enough. I felt like very much like they kissed and then the male main character was like, well, I'm in, this is gonna be my wife. And I think there should have been like a little bit more relationship development between them. Otherwise though, completely fun. Very, very fun. And I have like no complaints with that. And I did start the next Ember in the Ashes book. It's not A Torch Against the Night. I think that was book 2. Honestly, like the names are all just completely going together, but I'm 20-ish% into this one now, and I have to say, kind of not captivating me as much as I was hoping to. I feel a little like, I don't know, not as into the story. Like I felt like book 1 really, really had my attention, and now it's kind of just waning a little bit as we go on. So I might finish that tonight, might not, we'll see. Yeah, like really no plans for what we're actually doing tonight, aside from like we're doing personal pizzas and a movie, probably. Like very chill. I don't know if I'll read, we'll see. But yeah, that's it. Very quickly, actually, I do have 2 unboxings. So I got a PR package from Pacifica, which I'm on their PR list, and I love their brand so much. So there is a shimmering body oil, which not something I will use in the winter really, but we are planning on going to a resort later on this year, so, or I guess next year, some point in the winter. So this could work. It smells beautiful, and probably something I would use a lot more in the summer. Also, wow, I need to do my nails really badly. Then there is, I didn't know Pacifica had these, so I'm excited to try it, but it is bronzing drops. That's my bread. That's my bread. Okay, well, pizza dough. That's kind of scared me. So if you hear that, sorry. Bronzing drops, and it's a sunny glow, just to kind of give your skin like a little bit more of a bronzed look, which yeah, I'll definitely need because I am very pale in the summer. Illuminating lotion. It's hyaluronic acid and vitamin C, so dreamy radiance lotion. Yeah, for dull skin in need of hydration and brightening. They're seem to be about like bright shiny skin in this package. And then Glow Baby Booster Serum. This is glycolic acid and vitamin C. This concentrated bioactive serum is a next generation support system that helps brighten and relieve clogged dull skin. I don't love vitamin C. I'll give it a try. I've only like found a handful that have done anything for me. It's not something I really add into my skincare routine very often, but I'll try it. I'll see what I think. And then I have a box from the Arcane Society, which is my favorite subscription, and also really like the only one that I'm still subscribed to. So this, we have an Ivy Asher box, which I'm excited about. She is one of my favorite authors based on the like 3 books I've read from her. But first off, we have the Osseous Chronicles. So I think the first book in this one is The Bone Collector, but I just like, we need to rave about how insanely beautiful this entire edition is. So this is an omnibus. It has 3 books in it, which I'm so impressed. Okay, so here is the inside artwork and then the naked hardback. I just can't get over how insanely beautiful this is. And this is honestly the main reason why the Arcane Society is the only one that I'm still subscribed to, is because the editions that they do, first off, like their selection of books, incredible, perfectly in line with my taste. And then also their editions, so ridiculously beautiful. Then we also have Into Their Woods, which is Ivy Asher and Anne Denton. But I read this earlier this year, loved it. So it's like a Why Choose kind of werewolf romance, which, hello. I'm kind of hoping the second book in it is coming out soon. So I'm hoping like they'll release an edition that will have like the other side of the wolf's face. Here's our main character and the 4 wolves that she ends up being a pack with, and the naked hardback, which again, gorgeous artwork. So I'm insanely happy with these. Like literally always get so happy to see these editions and could not be more thrilled. Hi, Okay, so it's the next day, clearly. Not super surprised about it, but yesterday I just wasn't feeling up to like updating anything later on in the day, probably because I was tired. So yeah, but I did finish the third Ember in the Ashes book, which like, oh my god, these names, if you asked me what any of the names were, I know it's not a Sky Beyond the Storm because that's book 4 that I have kind of started to, but I did finish book 3, and I do have to say I feel like every one of these has just decreased in quality for me. Loved the first one, but everyone since then has just kind of been going downhill, and yeah, this one just felt very fillery, so I'm giving that one a 3-star. There was like one big reveal that shocked me, really got to me. Everything else was just kind of bland, to be honest, but yeah, we're done. And with that, I don't know how many books I read this week. I've read quite a few though, so I'm proud of that. I got quite a bit more of my reading challenge accomplished, nowhere near getting to the like 350 I'd planned to, but I think I'm at like 330 now, maybe something like that. I haven't actually looked at the exact numbers, but we made good progress and I'm happy with that at least. So we're gonna be finishing off this video here. Thanks for watching and keep an eye out for lots of new reading vlogs to come. Bye.